What exactly are you?
There we go. Okay, hello. My name is B.Suzuki. Suzuki バットリーと申します。今日はちょっとこういうプレゼンテーションはあまり日本語を使ったことないのでちょっと日本語をできるだけちょっと頑張りますので、英語と日本語はちょっと混ざっちゃうプレゼンテーション用になります。よろしく。Okay. So today I'll sorry. ちょっと混ざります。すいません、ちょっとつい忘れちゃって癖で英語喋りました。じゃあ今日はサイバーセキュリティのイントロダクションのことでちょっと俺がプレゼンします。じゃあちょっとサイバーセキュリティといえばというかハッキングといえばちょっとこういうのちょっと画面ですけど映像ビデオを見せたいので、俺のお気に入りの
I prefer discretion. What exactly are you doing?
I'm hacking the FBI. Step 1. Identify the target and its flaws. There are always flaws. I learned that early in life. My first hack, the local library, a vulnerable FTP server and its AS400, a far cry from the Android 0 days I'm using to own the FBI standard issue smartphone. The library was a test to see if I could even get into the system. I've since set greater goals. For instance, step 2, build malware and prepare an attack. At my fingertips, the 0 days wrapped in code like a Christmas present then becomes an exploit. The programmatic expression of my will. I live for this shit. Step 3, a reverse shell 2-stage exploit. The ideal package. Load the malware into a femtocell delivery system. My personal cell tower that'll intercept all mobile data. Similar to my first time when I found myself staring at late book fees, employee names, member addresses. Everything was revealed. The secret of the perfect hack, make it infallible. Hidden within the kernel is a logic bomb, malicious code designed to execute under circumstances I've programmed. Should the FBI take an image of the femtocell, all memory will self-corrupt or explode. Step 4, write the script. Why do it myself? Because that's how I learned and I know exactly what, when, and how it's going to run. I didn't do anything harmful my first time, just looked around, but I felt so powerful. 11 years old and in complete control of the Washington Township Public Library. Today is different. I hacked the world. Final step, launch the attack. Once I do, I'll own the Android phone of every FBI agent in that building. I'll own Evil Corp's network, applications, everything. Domain admin. This, the thrill of pwning a system. This is the greatest rush. Got access. The feeling never gets old.
Okay, 20年前のなんか映画 ハッキングの映画とか見たら大体それ見るものがなんか魔法なものみたいな感じで、なんかパソコンで何でもできるっていう感じ。例えば飛行機をハッキングしてなんか家にあるなんか PS4 のコントローラーでそれで飛行機なんか動かすという感じとか、そういう20年前はそこまで理解してはなかったので、最近のテレビ番組の「ミスターロボット」はちょっと結構 accurately depicts these types of attacks で日本語ってどういうふうなんだっけ。accurately depicts these types of attacks or these type of accurately depicts, so it's really accurate.
More accurate
Yeah.
than those in the previous
Yeah.
movies. より正確な
より正確な、
描写
はい、
かな、
ありがとうございます。
をしている。
Okay.
はい。
Prefer discretion.
So first, I want to go through the fundamentals. So, fundamental 基本、そうか、基本、ありがとうございます。基本をちょっとパパッといきたいので。So, the definition of cybersecurity and risk はこの3つ confidentiality, wait, where's the notes? Oh shoot, I forgot. 読み書くの忘れました。読めない。一癖。一癖完全性と
可用性。
ありがとうございます。そう。一癖。Oh my God, no, screw it. Confidentiality. はい、情報が他の人に乗っ取られないこと。Integrity、情報が勝手に変更されないことと Availability、情報が必要な時になんだっけ、利用しないこと。そう情報セキュリティはその3つのSo it's the preservation of those threes. So in order to memorize that, it's just remembered by the acronym of CIA.
So we are talking about cyber security, right?
Yes.
So what the difference is between information security and cyber security?
Isn't cybersecurity branch? No, not branch. Information security branched off into cybersecurity? Vice versa.
まあ一般的にはサイバーっていうとオンラインとかネットワークで、インフォメーションセキュリティは紙とかpaper based information is a part of information security or human resource management 人的なセキュリティ管理とかも情報セキュリティの範囲だけど、サイバーセキュリティって言った時は紙の情報とかは入ってこない。で、だからサイバーっていうのはあくまでもサイバースペースに関係するものがサイバーセキュリティで、情報セキュリティっていうともっと情報セキュリティは情報そのものにフォーカスしているので、それがサイバースペースにあろうがなかろうが関係ないっていうスタンス。Okay? So cyber security related to the security related to cyberspace that is online mostly.
Yes.
And so that doesn't include paper-based information or information belong to the human. human activities. So those are the not scope of cybersecurity.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, sorry,
All right.
go ahead.
All right, thank you. All right, so what is information risk? It is, I forgot to write it again. I'm sorry about that. In English, it's threats, vulnerability, and asset. All right, so for both information security and cybersecurity, there is a rule, the number one rule which you're supposed to follow. It is a user, application, or process should only have the necessary access or privilege to perform its task, and no additional permissions than what is already needed. So 必要なものだけをアクセスして、他のはいらないものはもう抜ける。Okay, so those are just the brief fundamentals that I want to discuss, and now is the types of threats in cybersecurity, or the most common types of threats in cybersecurity. So one is called spoofing or narisumashi. So it allows the attacker to pose as another user, components, or a system that has an identity in the system. So you're acting like another person, which you yourself are not really one. Kaizen or tampering. So it's the modifying data within a system to achieve a malicious goal. So just say when you hack into a system and then you already done your deeds, you did everything that you wanted to do, and then in order to cover up, you change the system logs to change the system log to show that, or to kind of cover yourself that you didn't really touch anything on the system. Service 妨害 or denial of service. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you are familiar with this. The acronym for this is called DDoS. So it is when an attacker prevents legitimate users from using a system or the system. So example of this is you send a bunch of data packets to a targeting or a target system. So say you want to mess around with YouTube. So you decide to send a bunch of packets to one of the servers to YouTube to a point where so much packets to a point where the connection to the server would say, the connection to the server is the traffic to the server is far too small than the incoming traffic. Kengen no shokaku. So elevation of privilege attacks. So this is when an attacker used an illegitimate means to gain a privilege level different from what he currently has. So an attacker exploits a system to gain admin level privilege, in simple terms. So this is a section that I'm currently researching on. It's called steganography. To put it very briefly, it is steganography. It's the word itself means that there's hiding a secret message within an ordinary message. So an example which a lot of people do is hide, let's say, a message like, meet me downtown at 5 p.m. So in implements that into a image file, for example. So, and then from there, a lot of people likes to encrypt that. So even though if you open the file and look into the hex or binaries, you wouldn't be able to figure it out that there is a necessarily, you'll figure out that there's a message, but you wouldn't really know what it means unless you have an encryption key. So this is kind of like the chunk that I kind of wanted to get into more of. These are called physical attacks. So as I wrote up above, so social engineering, or you could also, social engineering bad USB, Wi-Fi pineapple. I'll get into social engineering next slide. So what is social engineering? Social engineering is basically, you don't really use a device. So this vaguely, this kind of connects to cybersecurity, but the process isn't. The process to obtain the necessary information doesn't have to do anything with the computer. So there are 3 common social engineering attacks. So something that many of you are probably very familiar with is called phishing. So the aim of phishing is to obtain a person's personal information. So this, I would say, a form of this is very common in America in a form of phone calls. So what's the most, say, famous or the most well-known phishing attack in America is called IRS scam callers. So what an IRS is the, I forgot what the acronym was for IRS, but what they do is they're a government branch that collects tax, or they check for tax frauds. So what IRS scammers are, the most common ones are from India, I would say. So they try to pose as an IRS employee, and they would call your house saying, we checked your tax and we saw that you're missing $5,000 in tax. And if you do not pay this, then we will call the police and you will go to jail. But the funny thing is, for the Indian IRS scammers, they're pretty bad at phishing. So it's kind of obvious that they are scammers. So how you know is they would call themselves, they would introduce themselves with a very, how I should say, a white name. So even though their ethnicity is Indian, they would call themselves Michelle Smith. And yeah, so they introduce themselves as like a Michelle Smith. So there's a lot of red flags as you talk to them. So that's just a small story. Another one is pretexting. So it's creating a fabricated scenario that would try to gain the victim's trust and steal their personal information. So an example of this would be, so let's say there is an external IT service that calls into a company saying that there's a compromise, or not compromise, that there was a breach in security in a company's physical security, or in a company's security, and they would try to convince the staff to let them into the physical company's building to tamper with their devices. Another one is called a quid pro quo. So it is a fake benefit exchange for information. So it is really similar to phishing, but instead it's just an exchange as a fake exchange, a fake benefit in the exchange. So let's say an office worker is, so a fake IT staff calls in to a office worker saying that their email password has been, their password has been breached, and then they want to change they can't get into the office worker's email in order to fix their whatever. So, wait, oh no, oops, that's pretexting. My bad. I made a mistake. I meant, so an office worker is willing to give away their password for, let's say, an exchange of a chocolate bar. Okay, so this is kind of the portion where I kind of wanted to get and start demoing, since I do have some of these toys with me right now. So one of the physical security attacks which an individual could do is called a bad USB. So what a bad USB is, a device that can emulate a keyboard, and it could issue commands on behalf of the logged in user. So a lot of the devices that everyone uses, a USB is very common in a device. So it's kind of like a flaw in how any USB device could plug into a computer. In this case, it's supposed to emulate a keyboard. So the computer would take it as a user input. So there's not really much that a computer could do to stop that. So I would like to kind of do a quick demo of this using a bad USB on my computer. What I want to do is steal a Wi-Fi passwords on my computer. So in this case, it's specifically for Windows. Okay, so the device I'm using is called a Bash Bunny. So this one is slightly different from a bad USB in how it's a bit more sophisticated and how it could run a small Linux system within a size of a USB, or a slightly thick USB. So I could make a payload. I could program a payload, and then it's really simple to use. I could just program a payload and then just put it into the USB device. So I think I put it in switch 1, and I just copied and pasted this one. This one's kind of like open source, and how a lot of people could start creating their own payloads and do, I guess you could say, pen testing, or you could do malicious things with this. So I would like to open the payload and just to show how it is. So this isn't, so in order to program this isn't any, you should say, a common programming language. It's not PHP or JavaScript or Python or anything like that. They kind of use their own coding language. I think Ducky Go is what it's called. So it's fairly easy on how you could read. Where's the mouse? There it is. Okay, so what this one is telling to do is LED would blink for 200 milliseconds, so 2 seconds, and then it would input a keystroke. So what the next step is it opens the Windows consoles, and then it enters a string. So right there. So it enters a string, and then it enters. Enters, and then after it's done executing, it would wait, and then I'm able to just take it out. Oh, ありがとうございます。Oh, cool. Okay, so I would kind of like to show this in action. I hope this shows on that. Oh shoot, it's not this one. Oops. All right, sorry. It's I extended the screen and all of the inputs was entered in my main computer, not what's shown on the extended screen. So let me just flip this around. All right, let me do this one more time. Oh, and it's done. It's as quick as that. So it only takes this thing, 10 seconds in order for it to steal Wi-Fi credentials, Wi-Fi passwords, rather than a person inputting this, which would take them, 30 seconds maybe, no, 20 seconds. So right now what it did is just stole the passwords, and to sort of show, I'll show you that it actually did. So under the folder ypass dump has an XML files that has all the name of the Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi SSID and also its password. So I don't want to show CNS or RG, so I'll just show my own house Wi-Fi password. So it's as easy as that. So what it shows is the name of the network, which is, that's my house. And through, where is the password? Oh, right there. So not only can you use computers to kind of steal passwords on networks, you could also use a physical device to connect to a computer that would easily take, steal passwords or information very briefly compared to what it would take for you to be at a distance. So another device that pen testers use is called a Wi-Fi pineapple. So it's a pest testing device that could perform a targeted man-in-the-middle attack, reconnaissance, or credential harvesting. So just how it looks, it acts like a Wi-Fi router. So what you could do to attack is you could create a fake public Wi-Fi network. Let's say you go to Starbucks, and then you copy the public Starbucks landing page. You could easily put that into your Wi-Fi pineapple. So, and then configure it so you could have a lot of the surrounding devices within the network to automatically connect to your pineapple. And then from there, you could do phishing attacks. So you could say, in order to gain access to this Wi-Fi, enter your email address and password to make an account. So that's an example which you could do. I brought my pineapple. I brought my pineapple to to demo, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to get many of the things running as I had to restart this device earlier today, and it erased everything. So instead of showing you the actual creating the landing page, I guess I'm just going to show how the application works in order to configure all of this and to deploy the attacks. Okay, so I guess the Oh, oops. I guess what I could do now is to just do a brief reconnaissance, so to see what devices are connected to, what devices are around in this area. So you could easily just log in and then start scanning for available networks. So we could do 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz or both. What you can also do is to kind of configure how long you want this to be. So you could do 30 seconds or continuous. So let's just see what networks are available in this area for 30 seconds. Okay, so it just finished scanning. So we could see, okay, it's gonna go like that. So I'm just gonna briefly show this. So there's a lot of hidden networks around this area. Oh, there's a lot. And then eventually you could also see that, so you can see that the surrounding device. So since we are in this, we can see Alt's iPhone. So yeah, you can see a lot of the Wi-Fi routers or devices in the surrounding area just by scanning. And then from there you could just click on one of the tabs and you could allow a specific device to connect to your network, and then from there, a specific target device to connect to your network. And then from there you could force it to go to a landing page to fill out credentials. So I'm not going to do that right now since I could get into huge trouble. And that's it for that. So you could keep tabs on clients, or you could track what they're doing. You could also add modules to this. So I saw that you could configure it so it could use multiple radio wave signals. So potentially I could hack into or mess around the drones or hack into drones just using this router on me. However, that module seems a bit buggy right now, so I'm not going to be able to do anything with it. So that's the pineapple. Okay, and I would kind of like to go into XSS demos. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to configure my local servers properly, so I'm not going to be able to finish this all the way through, but I'm kind of be able to show you step by step on how you could be able to steal a cookie on a weak, insecure website. So this website is made by Aaron. So what this website is, it's a chat room, or a, say, weak chat. So this is the first page is a create your handle name. So let's say my name, I'll just type in my name. So my name would be Brad, oh, not Braid. So this is the next page that would take me to. So the first step which you could take to kind of check and see if a website is vulnerable to XSS or cross-site scripting is first, well, in this case, there is an input, so in a form of a text input. So what you could do is to check if you're able to execute something that you're not really supposed to. So in this case, I'll just say I will do a alert on this website. So just to check, you can do There we go. I kind of messed up the first time, but I was able to get it right the second time. So after I input a JavaScript code within the text input. So what I did is I just injected an alert. So after I submit it, I got a pop-up that says, "Hey there." So not only are you able to send something, well, in this case, it's very, I say, docile. It's non-threatening, but however, you're able to do much more than just sending out an alert onto a user that is on this website. So instead, you could also send them to a website, let's say, with something that has, a website that has a malware on it. So you could do it something like this. Oh. Looks like Corey's on this chat too. Okay, so potentially you could send someone to another web page instead of redirect someone to another web page instead of the hackme.8chan.moe websites. And apparently there are 2 people that's not really supposed to be on this website right now. So what I could do is one of the things you could do is, since you're able to redirect someone to a web page, what an attacker could do for this in order to steal say a target's cookie in this case. So if you this website, to look at the inspect element or the page source, this website use cookies to identify the users. So what the objective is for right now is to steal someone's cookie and then to kind of pose as them, in which case. So looking at the website, we could see down in the middle that there are these identifiers. These aren't necessarily cookies in which case, but you could tell that that there is a form of identification rather than just the handle name. So let's say I could so it doesn't really mean, you're able to tell the difference even though you have the same name. So let's say I go back and I'll change my name to Corey. So, even though my name is Corey, in this case, you could tell that we are, from the actual Corey and me just posing as Corey are two different identities based off of the middle ID string. So what we want to do is to kind of steal someone's cookie and to kind of pose as them. So since we know that there is an XSS vulnerability, we are able to kind of manipulate this into receiving a cookie or what we want, the information for what we want in this case. So I set up my own local server to host, to send a individual to the website. So what I did is I set it up using WAMP, where is it? WAMP servers, so WAMP. Okay, so I made a PHP page. So what it does, it looks for the cookie of the person that went on this PHP page. So in this case, whoever goes to loot.php, this thing will look for its cookie and it would open a file called stolen cookie.txt. And then from there it would append. And from there it would write the necessary information to that stolen cookie.txt document. Although I have this, wait, it doesn't have anything, right? Yeah, okay. So since we set up a cookie stealing web page, we could redirect the whoever access to this website to that web page, and then from there we are able to obtain their cookie credentials. So this is the landing page where people will kind of go to. Normally, I wasn't able to get this part running correctly, unfortunately, but right here, it should be able to show that whoever visited and what cookie value they had. So what we could do is redirect them to that site. So it is like okay, it seems like there's a lot of people in this chat room right now. So I'm gonna have to just restart this in order to get back that button to submit. Oh, didn't go through. Okay, I guess it's not going through. So instead, I'll just show you. Once you obtain the credentials, what you could do is download a browser extension, say Cookie Manager or Cookie Editor, and from there you could see that there is the website and then there is the key. So in this case, key would be the cookie, the name of the cookie, and then there's the value. So this itself would be the special cookie value that you are assigned to, or each device is assigned to, or each user is assigned to. So from there, you could do is delete the cookie, and then you could add in your own. Oh, wait, I messed up. Oh, this is Lynn's website. Landing site. Jesus Christ. Lynn, did you get my cookie? Okay. You could pose as me then. So what you could do is just, once you obtain a cookie, you could just enter in here, and then save. And then potentially you are able to act as someone else. There you go. So in this case, I guess I already had a different cookie already saved by accident. So this is what usually is supposed to happen if you do the steps correctly. So although I typed in twice, the one in the, where's that? There it is. That one right there is the ID right there, and it's different from what I just typed. So that's cross-site scripting. Although I failed at it, the end result should look like that. If you want to steal their identification through cookies. And that is it. Takeda-san どこ行った？武田先生。あ、そう。あ、トイレ。え？木？はい。なんで木に？さっき引っかかった。はあ。Yeah. Yeah. Okay. いや、もう終わってる感じだけど。
では 質問等あれば Any questions or comments? オンラインで見ている方も YouTube ライブチャットへコメント、質問どうぞお願いします。では内容ですので、とりあえず、武田さんからのコメントを後でいただくとして、一度、終了したいかなと思います。
はい。